Hi, welcome to Becoming Talk Show. Today's journey is about an individual who has went from self-motivation, self-discovery, and numerous rejections when he started off in his journey. And most importantly, who has went through cyberbullying and to a point that he wondered, if I can put it that way, he wondered if he will ever be at the level that he wanted to be. His journey has long started before he appeared on a national television. It has started at a primary level. It has started at a junior level. He has done numerous events that he ran with in order for him to become who he is today. His journey is not just a journey that we all listen to on a daily basis, and that's not just a journey that you listen to on a daily basis, because it's a journey with transition. In it, he holds his life that brought about transition, that brought about blossoming to becoming who he is. Today's guest is becoming Alpha Timothy Nchenje. His story is with an ear, and it is with his mouth telling it.
Thank you very much for having me in your show. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, please, the pleasure is.
Yeah.
Precisely, we had a conversation earlier, and you told us about, even on social media, you posted about whether you had to walk from Tokwing to BTV when you went for an audition.
Yeah.
And you got a straight no. Please
Yeah.
let us know from your experience and how it came about for you, and why did you go for the auditions by then?
Okay, growing up, I've always wanted to be a TV presenter and being in the entertainment industry. And that's the reason why when I was doing Standard 3, I was back in my African Dream. I was writing letters to Woman Toning back then. And I was the only one in Francistown who was doing that. And I've always wanted to be part of this, being in front of the cameras and interacting with people. And talking about my journey from Tlokweng to BTV, I was called in for an audition. I was in the top 10 for one of the biggest shows in the country. I can't mention it, but and then what happened is I didn't have money for transport. I didn't have anyone. I didn't have a friend to ask money from. So I walked all the way from Tlokweng to BTV for auditions, and I got a straight no. And I went back home. And when I went back home, I got to my house.
Wow.
I was so wet, but at least I was trying something that I love. You know, when you love something, you're gonna fight for it, whether there is the highs and lows, the roller coaster. At the end of the day, you know what I'm fighting for, something that I want. That's how I became who I am even right now.
On that day, if
Yeah.
I may ask, because you got, you were called for the top 10.
Yeah.
And then you had to go back home, walking from, you imagine the distance from Tlokweng to that television station and going back.
Yeah.
It is quite a long distance.
Yeah.
What really at some point kept you on push you and say, go for it, walk? What really motivated you to go and say walk, and what motivated you to walk back home?
Yeah. It was after 1,000 people who applied for the job, and I was called to be in the top 10. And I was in the top 10, and I'm fresh in Gaborone. I've got no connection. I've got no friends. I've got no one. All my family is back Goroko Francistown. And walking back, it's me, Gaborone, you're from BTV, you hit the face too young. Main molo jang, it was just me having just that walk alone. And I was like, one day it's gonna be me in front of the cameras. One day it's gonna be me emceeing corporate gigs. One day it's gonna be me being endorsed. One day it's gonna be me motivating the other people who are just gonna become and it's happening now.
Exactly right now.
And it's only when you pay it up with God, because God would give you a talent, but if you are not gonna rely on God to help you through some challenges, if it wasn't me walking back, I wouldn't have your email on at your show. I wouldn't have interviewed big people in the country. I would have hosted big red carpet events in the country, but I did because of me walking back to Tlokweng and realizing that Alpha, you are bigger than that.
Was that your first audition?
I've been to 1,000 auditions before becoming a TV presenter, guys. I've been to so many auditions. Sometimes they know because of my voice. I used to have a tiny voice. Sometimes it would be no because of how I talk, how I walk, how I present. Sometimes they'll say I'm overconfident, I'm overboard. Sometimes it's gonna be but one bill the audition, but basa tseba itse gore ba batla mang mo industry o leng gore o buketse audition. Sometimes it's me gore o ngwana Frankstown, o tswa ko Frankstown, o le mang, re my gaps. It's getting like a Brian Nikki, the this and this and this, our friends and the gym production and what the rabbits and but no, we grew up in Gaborone together. That's one of the challenges alone in the entertainment industry. When you are from outside Gaborone, it's very hard for you to penetrate in the industry because already the producer they're already doing it.
Oh yes. You talked about. I'm going to go back when you started off in this conversation. You said you're new in Gaborone and you went for that audition, and from that audition, you know, as you transitioned into the next step, that means you're from a village, you're from Frankstown, it's a town as well.
Yeah.
But you had to transition, you know, transitioning your personality because people were like, no, you are this kind of person.
Yeah.
And it brought about a change into who you were as compared to who you were when you were at Frankstown and a young boy by then when you started off with auditions.
Yeah.
Truly, if we can say, what did you come about to change in you, either your character, your personality, that you had to really lose it, you know, change it so that you can now adjust to the environment of Gaborone itself and the auditions?
Yeah, I think you have to learn with the times, ne? I was Alpha or Raw, Alpha A, Alpha to Francistown, Waring. First thing first, you need to research. I had to research, I used to watch YouTube, I used to go for so many auditions. I had to learn quite a few things, but this is when you do it on a professional level. Because sometimes you are not doing it because you are raw. Sometimes you have to learn who am I talking to. You can't just come Alpha, you are addressing football game. Now you have to transition to know in this corporate world, how am I going to do it? Who am I going to do for collaborations? So I won't say I changed. I had to marinate myself into the industry.
Indeed.
Yeah, but I'm still the same person.
Into the industry. So there are, like you said, a few, you know, many auditions that you have went to. But as you went through those auditions, you ended up, you know, getting one.
Yeah.
What was your first one? You know, the first job that you got to do. I remember when you were starting, you didn't start off just as a presenter.
Yeah.
What was the first one that got you to now be introduced into the industry?
Okay, I started off as a dancer because I've always been a dancer before. So in 2016, the BOMA Awards were looking for 30 dancers across the country. And I went and auditioned. And Honoko, I got my first chance of being in the industry, but I was the last person to be picked up. In LA, but about the 30 dancers, and I was called for the last one. I wasn't called for the last one as Nick Satsena in the top 30. I was called when I was at my house. After 2 weeks, one of the dancers is not going to make it to the big show. So it was like a favor to me. And then I went there, and then a big similar the same dancers that were dancing, and I was catching up. And I was so slow but there was some production 2 weeks before I came to the stage. So I had to learn, I had to sweat. So I had to jingle that. So I got my first taste of the entertainment in 2016, late 2015 for the BOMA Awards. And then from the BOMA Awards, I started dancing. Oh, Scavenger wants dancers, or one particular show wants a dancer. I'll just go there. And then I went to Mopato. I joined Mopato training. I started dancing for Mopato. And then one day, Mike Owele in a show. We're practicing for the BOMA Awards for the 2016 ones. Mike Wele, and then I took the mic and I was imitating the hosts. And then the production manager paused about, guys, come on, I'll share a mic. I was very shy. After I was given the job of doing the red carpet for the BOMO, but it wasn't the production, just the other media companies. I thought, no, Alpha, you're just gonna do the red carpet, but in a Spiri. So I did the show as a backup dancer. I get to go back up, I get to go backstage in red carpeting, interview some of the people. That's how it started.
From all the incidents that you talked about, it has always been something that I would say a coincidence, or in some point I'll say being picked at a peak of
Yeah.
being the least,
Yeah.
feeling like you are
Yeah.
you are very low
Yeah.
in everything, as you are at a minor. When you look at everything else, you are like, why am I always the last?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that moment where you ask yourself, why am I always the last person?
Yeah, it's really it's an emotional one because each and every single time you get to a production and there's a lot of people and you're picked up the last one. And one of the very emotional one, it's when you guys are dancers and all these dancers are united. Ke bana ba Gaborone, they're united and they're doing the same thing and you are the only odd one. And I remember one choreographer I worked with. I'm not gonna mention names, but
Names,
but he was brutal on me. Every single time you came late, he'll pick up little mistakes. He'll pick up on me and this other big dancers. When I look at them, I'm like, oh, that Jenny said, yeah, me Nike flourish, but it's because of God. It was like it was always me being the last one. Potentially it's not okay. So I've always said, God, if this is a way of you making me brave, or if it's your way making me the strongest one in the group, I'll take it. But once I get the button, I'm gone.
Yes.
I'm no longer looking back.
You're no longer going.
Yeah.
And you didn't look back.
And
Because
Ritsurking, I'm not even apologetic about it, because sometimes it's funny when you are the MC of a big show, and then those dancers backstage when you are with the bodyguards, makeup or
Yes.
follow the MC is here, and you're like, hi guys, as if you struggled with them back on choreo.
Yes.
They wouldn't want to sit next to you.
Yes.
They don't want to be associated with you. You understand? Even Bonnet the choreographers in my journey, Kelly dancer. I still look at them and say, choreographer, can you please go to the left, go to the right. Next one, get practice that as the host, and it's amazing.
now you are the master of ceremony, if I can put it that way.
Absolutely,
You are the
yes.
master of ceremony. You are conducting, how they should arrange.
Yeah.
Yet you started back from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Now let's go into the master of ceremony, because it also came as well at
Yeah.
the time whereby it was just a mic and you just doing something at the back. You seem like I would say, from my point of view, you seem like a 2-year-old
Yeah.
kid
Yeah.
listening to Women Peace and say, yo.
Yeah.
So how did that really, the journey? Let's go
Okay,
into
okay.
you being
I got
master
the
of
mic and I got the gig on Nenike hosted at Carpet. From there, I was doing promotions. Promotion. I used to sell the packet what you call this? Like packages for events.
Yes.
There was the other time got clap your hands. I was not clap your hands, and then I started off getting promo guy. I get to the flyer, and you're getting 100 pula per day, and that was good. And there was one time clap your hands were doing an activation, and THBO was supposed to come to the activation as the MC, and he was not there. And by the time and everyone was vibing with me, and then this guy what clap your hands said, "I'm Mikey Remele THBO. I got the mic. Give vibe. 2 days after that, they told me, Alpha, we're paying you for a gig. You're going to be emceeing for Clap Your Hands during the day till 8 o'clock. And then we're paying you for accommodation, your transport, your food, and everything. And we're paying you 10,000. It was the first time in my life getting 10,000. After gig, yeah, the red carpet. And then I got in there, got Clap Your Hands. I started emceeing. And then from Clap Your Hands came African Town Flick, Fashion Without Borders, red carpets, Hoti Lady, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture
Yes,
Awards,
yes.
Hota the President Day celebration, Hota my star, Hota just a lot
Just
of
a lot
things,
to do.
because I told you, when I took the button, I didn't look back.
You ran.
I was like, I ran with it. I'm going. Ibile, I'm not even going to be apologetic about it. And then I went internationally, and then it was just amazing.
So you got the first 10,000. At what age were you?
I was, yeah. 2000 I tried online shopping, shipping, but I remember I sent my mom 2,000 and she was absolutely happy. For your surviving car allowance, but on selling to 2,000, that's the money. I was looking at 18. 19, 20, Hey, and then I took up my best friends out because took them out and then went to Clap Your Hands. And right after Clap Your Hands, I had another gig, Bambuka, right on the spot. I went to Clap Your Hands and then I got the other gig the next day. And then I was cyberbullied after some show, and then that's when I blew out.
That's when you blew out. From the cyberbullying.
After Banshauta,
The cyberbullying, that's when you blew out. And let's say, and from that cyberbullying, that's when you actually now transition into being a presenter on
on My
different
Star.
televisions and on My Star.
Yeah.
Other than My Star, which other television show have you done?
I've done What's the Fast. It was a popping show which talks about entertainment news, your local gossips, your celebrity gossips, your performances. It was What's the Fast in a Duraketot Studios. And then from What's the Fast, I went to My Star. From My Star, I went to Bounceland Trampa Rampa Challenge. It's the first game show in Botswana. And then from there, I did a hair show. I won't mention the show, hair show, but because I haven't been paid yet. So after ki duelwa and everything settled, that's when I'll say I was the presenter. Because I can't say I was the presenter because I duel.
Yeah,
Got the shelete, mereko borotho.
You need that. You need that money. And
Yeah.
If we can look it back into what you said, Ella, you said, you know what? It was all a struggle, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
It was all quite a journey of a struggle. And you ended up being cyberbullied. Your journey, is not like any other journey.
Yeah.
It's not a journey of, I went out there and then the moment I auditioned, somebody said, come through.
Yeah. Sometimes you wonder, Lina, I wonder, can't God, what have I done to the world to point to, no, I have talent. I'm so good in what I do. But at the end of the day, there's going to be one person who's going to pick up at me. And when they pick up at me, it's going to be the whole world coming to me. I remember I did birthday. I was booked for Chama Girl. You know Chama Girl? Yes, she had a birthday celebration. And she booked me. And thought, Alpha, I want you to come and be my MC for my birthday celebration. And I went there. And I was looking so nice. I was looking so fly. And then there were this other guy's body photographer. But the photo mo gonna. So when Habat's snepeana, the other photos I was good. So Habat's snepeana, there are flash NZ to my
Oh, yes.
to my what you call this guys? What's this? Her name?
Your thighs.
Hey, not thighs. More. Ankles.
Yes,
absolutely,
to the ankles. Yes.
Ankles. Even now, on the red carpet.
But anyway, thank you guys.
More picture,
That's where the bullying started.
Hey, then the bullying started, and it was na when and then everyone started calling me Jabu, and then and because I was on the red carpet, and everyone was just bashing me. Everyone was just bashing me. Everyone, and even my best friends, they were taking Bantega status and that's hair. Everyone was just over it.
Given that you have actually...
And I'm new in the industry and everyone is just bashing on me. And I remember the next day I was doing activation at Clap Your Hands, go Rail Park. People came to Rail Park. And I remember when I got on stage for the other gig I was doing, I get on stage and people were booing me. Boo. And then all these other newspapers were all over it. It was just all over. It was not Alpha is an MC, is a promising MC and TV presenter. It's all about Alpha Moseta.
It's about where you come from.
Yeah, and then since that time, we can make sure Alpha, before even you leave your house, anytime and I thought maybe that was the end of it with cyberbullying. And then the other time,
may I ask?
Yeah.
Given that from the cyberbullying incident, given that somebody wrote and said it's more like somebody walked from where to a red carpet, and you have walked before, you go back to the past and say, how did that come to a point of breaking you down at that moment?
Guys, I won't lie, guys. We always feel like cyberbullying doesn't affect us till there's one stranger who doesn't know your journey about on social media, because some people just get they just get the balls or the ego or I don't know what to call it. They have got the audacity to say bad things about somebody that they don't even know. Motho a teng mme ha re wa mo leba ene, o itse gore ke motho e leng gore kana o na le mathata a gagwe, kana insecurity tsa gagwe, di ntshetsa mo go wena. And nako ene, that comment is the one that got my attention. Yone ya gore o ka re na o ka from Mogodisane, look at the fact that kile ka o ka for nutrition e leng gore ne ke sa tsewa teng. I broke down, I won't lie. I broke down and I lost my esteem. There's a point where I wasn't even interactive with anyone. I lost trust in so many people, including my friends, including everyone. And by then again, the person who was supposed to be there for me, like I had a best friend who was always there for me, taking me to auditions and making sure I'm good. Another person joined the group now because he tried by all means to be on my side, but the world lo nebe mara, I don't know. Who are you to stand next to somebody or start doing the whole world? So he had to shift. Let me just.
Do you have
step
regrets
down.
of everything else and how it has turned out?
I don't even have regrets. I feel like if you're going to be in my life, you're going to be in my life. You're not going to be in my life, you're not going to be in my life. There's a point where...
Regrets in the sense that of how the picture has appeared, of how it went back to now, affecting your mental stability as well, and more so over bring about the past of working as an individual. Do you have a more like regret or feeling pain for that, where you say
I still feel pain.
this is more painful? It has become something that I can't really get over.
I can't even get over it even now because some people are still using the same picture sometimes out there. And they'll say, they're just gonna say nasty things. And Lena, there are producers by Longkore that still describe me by that picture. And you I can't get over it. It's always gonna be there and there and there. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna define myself by that picture. That's not me.
Not you.
It's not me. I've got a bright future. And I'm still going to be the biggest brand in Botswana. Elongkore, whether people like it or not, I'm still going to prosper. With either way, anything say Elongkore se thing. Because cyberbullying wouldn't stop me from pursuing what I like.
From the cyberbullying and everything else that has happened to you, I wonder, how did you come about to overcome everything else and stand tall, besides having that motive and say, I need to become Alpha Timothy, I need to become an MC, I need to become a television presenter. How did you overcome that? Did you go and see a psychologist? Did you sit down, talk to family? How did you deal with everything else in the right way that it has driven you to be yourself?
First thing first, I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie to say I went to see a therapist. I get a big I guess
people go so they don't have time for
I can
therapists
also. At the end of the day, it's always gonna be me, and
Yes.
there's no one who's gonna replace me.
That's
From
very
the support, I would really like to give a shout out to my family. They were supportive. I remember I had a long conversation with my mom over the phone. At the end of the day, ke bana gape ba teng ba taba bua gape, ba bata go itsalana le wena. And one thing that I've always learned is, Kabo, you are born alone and you're gonna die alone in your casket. And don't expect any mercy from anyone. Either your partner, either your mom, either your father, either your friends. And I get a friends, it's so sad because most of us think we've got friends.
Yes.
Mobotelo. There's nothing like a friend, you know that?
Yes.
There's absolutely
That's very
nothing like a friend. It's either that benefiting from you, that your pastor, your host, or that it's only a few people that are just gonna be by your side. And nowadays, I know how to differentiate between fans
And friends.
and friends.
May I ask? You said there's nothing like a friend. And to me, a friend, an uncle, a workmate, when I encounter somebody else, it means home. It's a sense of home. It's a sense of belonging.
Yeah. Not
did
to
you,
me.
Did you lose a sense of belonging in those guys, a sense of home with those guys at that moment after being bullied and everything else?
Not really. My family was always there for me, my family. And it's funny because
I'm referring to your friends and
Friends.
people else. Did you lose a sense of home? Did you lose the sense
Yeah.
of friendship in
I've
it?
lost so many people that I called friends in my life. Ne? Right now I'm surviving with less than 10 people that are like my close friends. Ba e leng gore ba itse gore even my gigs, ke go kae, ke a go kae, ke na le mang, stuff like that. I've lost so many friends because they were not friends, they were fans. And the biggest mistake you can ever do, all I'm entertainment industry, is to take your fans and make them your friends.
Oh, yes.
No. Kore ba nne le have a certain limit of, oh, but he's my fan. Because the moment you're gonna open up to a fan, they may use it against you in the future.
Well, we're going to come back after the break. We'll be taking over from where we are, and we'll be continuing whereby Timothy will be letting us now, into his other, transition from being an MC, from being a television presenter, now doing massages, and most importantly, he will also touch up on the other cyberbullying that he encountered after that while. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate for you to be joining us. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we'll be taking it off right there. Welcome back. We are more than happy to say it was quite a beautiful break for us. We also hope that you enjoyed the moment of just relaxing for a bit. So, where do we start? We're going to go straight into where we left off. We'll be talking now into the second cyberbullying that he encountered. And thereafter, Timothy will let us know more on the issue of other, way forward from where he is after being a television presenter.
Yeah. Okay, it was last year, there was something trending on social media. Apparently it was about Lenyalo, Lenele Chandela. It was a music video, so they made it as if ke lenyalo, what, I can. And then I just commented, as an ordinary person, let me just comment Ella for the fun of it. Just commented Ella anyhow. And then this girl, and then about us nepesame, saboholo. That's the first on social media. Hey. So it was trending for I think 3 weeks, and people were bashing. When that one was still on, they were bringing back that one. So honna matsubutsubu. And then cyberbullying again. I went through the face again, but this time around, this one didn't really hurt. So I was like, it's okay. Lena, she's into the entertainment space, and only to realize that the person who actually did it with my show, it was something like she was backlashing because she know me from somewhere.
Oh, yes.
We had a show together in Bojana Waterfront, and we were hosting together. And when we were hosting together, it wasn't the nicest hosting to co-hosting. When we're in a show, and then we're hosting something, and then we're MCs, you can tell when the energy is right, when me and you are sharing the stage together. The whole time it wasn't a good sharing together because when the other one is on stage, but the crowd it was just those story. And only to realize the person, this one was really bashing me because of that incident and stuff like that. But I was like, at the end of the day, it was a blessing to me because that's when I was starting my massage company. So her talking about me or bringing that picture, but the one shout on Facebook, meant people were searching for Alpha Kema, only to find out Alpha is a masseuse, it's got a new mobile spa, and then people were booking. I made money out of that. And up to now, I'm still like, okay, people are gonna talk about you. They're gonna make fun of you. They're gonna. The biggest question if King Anna say the picture it was of my recent picture because I've did so many amazing and flourishing photo shoot. I was like, yeah, girl, but she got followers out of it. She got everything that she needed. At the end of the day, we're different people. And there's a point in maybe sometimes she might go through that, but at the end of the day, I'm still over it.
everything that you have went through, both good and bad,
Yeah.
has actually brought about growth
Growth.
and becoming Timothy Alpha.
Yeah.
May I ask, what words of gratitude would you say to the ones who have either cyberbullied you, either told you that you're not good
Yeah.
enough, either told you to go back home and say no, you are not good enough for this for these auditions?
Okay.
What word of gratitude do you have?
I wouldn't say I have a word of gratitude to them because they're not the nicest persons I'd ever want to interact with them in my life. But whatever thing that I always do, whatever thing that you go through in your life or what you go through, now this is all what I say in my life. I'm gonna rebut negativity with positivity on steroids. I rebut negativity with positivity on steroids. You cyberbully me, I go for an audition, I get a gig, I make money, I flourish. You say nuts about me and you say no to me because you're a producer mo Botswana, I cross borders, I go for auditions South Africa. That's even how I got my first international gig, which was in South Africa.
In South Africa.
Yeah.
Before we go into South Africa and where you are currently,
Yeah.
There has been people that you have worked with.
Yeah.
I believe they have supported you, other than the rest that you have encountered in
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
There are people that you have worked with.
Absolutely.
I believe when you were at Chama Girls gig and it happened that somebody went to a point of bringing you with something from that point,
Yeah.
she came through and said, boy,
Yeah.
you make this.
Yeah.
Don't fall down, don't
Yeah.
break down, don't do anything. What really mode of support did you get from people who you were working with besides your family?
Okay, I really want to say a big shout out to those people that are always in my life. You know, there's a man called Kennedy Ponaka Babusi and Mohau and Emmanuel. These are my go-to men. They're from the Flamboyant Entertainment Group. Flamboyant Entertainment, clap your hands.
Oh, yes.
These are the men that are always with me through trials and tribulation.
They believe in you.
Yes. And again, there is my friends, my close friends, that are always there for me. There is Sophie, there's Marati, there is Lame, there is Ruth, there is Olerato, there is Mabato, there is a whole
Quite-
lot of
quite a
people.
lot,
Hey, there are quite a lot of people that are always there by my side. There is, oh my gosh, I'm not going to mention this one, but Lenny, he's in the forefront of seeing me doing so well in my life because he's closer to me. And those are the people that offered me support of when I was going through cyberbullying, going through a lot. They've let me know, Alpha, you're still the star that shines brighter than anything. And no one will take away from that. Even if they throw shadows to you, no one can break you.
Can you say thank you to them other than saying the word thank you? Because you don't have word for gratitude for those who say negatives. And this point I'd like to know, is there any words of gratitude to those who really supported you? Everybody as your friends, your colleagues.
My colleagues, my friends, and my supporters, like real supporters, not the brutal ones. I really say I'm so grateful. I'm not going to say thank you. I'm so grateful for what they've done for me and for each and every single person who have went out there on social media to support me and to defend me when I was paddling, when I was drowning. I really want to thank everyone. And to those who are bitter, I'm still going to make you bitter. I'm still going to make you saba well. I'm still going to make you look up at me because those ones that are hating me, and the funny thing is, people who you're thinking are not watching or are not following your footsteps, they're still going to be watching the same show and still going to say negative things about it. But at the end of the day, we're still going to bring more sponsors to the show. We're still going to see you being the biggest TV presenter that you want to be, because at the end of the day we gotta live with negativity.
You became the biggest, talking about the biggest TV presenter.
The biggest
You became the biggest in the way that you went international. International, which shows did you do and where did you MC and what did you learn?
Okay, I went to South Africa. I did the Nelson Mandela National AIDS Day in Joburg, Carnival City. I was emceeing with one of my closest best friends in the industry, Pearl Ebening. I was working with her. So, Nele Pearl, we went for the auditions for Top Billing and for Afternoon Express. And when you got there, we got recruited by one of the ladies in South Africa about, guys, I like your pair because we're auditioning as a pair. And then after Nelson Mandela Foundation. And then from there, I was called to do the V-Search. I went to the V-Search and as the top 10 in the whole South Africa, I was in the top 10 presenter search, well, only 10. From V-Search, I got a show from Coca-Cola in South Africa. So they had a dance show. So I was one of the presenters on it. It wasn't something big in Elimo YouTube. I wasn't broadcasting over SABC3, but the money I got from the gig, it's more than the money I've always got in Botswana. Yeah.
So, in all the experiences from a dancer to being an international, MC, to be a television presenter, which job that you got, that you occupied, you really will reflect to and you say, this is the highlight of my life and this is the moment that I'll always cherish going forward?
I think the best gig I've ever got in my entire life, I've got the bestest ones, more than the gig and stuff like that. But the best gig I've ever got in my life was my star.
Oh, yes.
I was auditioning. I remember I was in that line. That was the longest line. More than 1,000 in the line. And they're saying we're looking for 2 presenters. I went there, and then the top 20 was meant of different presenters that are upcoming. The other ones are influencers. The other ones are already in the industry. And I only remember when they said Alpha Timothy Nchenje, and I was like, what? What the MLL? Master Diantar, that's the end of your journey. And I was like, okay, thank you, because I'm always used to go, no, that's the end of the journey, because Akiran, he always jokes like that. And then I took my bag and I was like, going outside, Alpha, it's a joke, you're the new presenter of the show. And I was like, what? And then from the show, the voice say, Kuala, newspaper, Kuala, everything di Kuala. I think my star was really the biggest groundbreaking of my career.
You said for a moment somebody said no, and you're used to the no.
I was used to say.
The moment you got.
Wait, so there was a point in Hong Kong auditioning. I went to that mentality. Let me just go and say. It only came to my star when I was told I was in the top 10, and I was like, maybe if I'm in the top 10, I can make this. And then I can see the top 5. Top 5, more thing. Called my mom, this is your job. Went to the script, it took the script, I nailed the script, I got the job. From there, it was history. Seemed like it had the biggest shows in Botswana, Corporates, Botswana Live, Bo Splash Toys, the MC, Bo Clap Your Hands, Bo Minister of Youth, Bo everything. So now it's because COVID came, the career was blooming, was becoming so good.
Talking about COVID, and you said COVID came. It has brought about a state whereby everything now sells and stops.
Yeah.
And for a moment, I know in your life you may have become a television presenter.
Yeah.
You may have become, and you still are.
Yeah.
That television presenter and MC.
Absolutely.
And COVID has brought about a pause.
Yes.
Is there a point in your life currently where you look back and say, I wanted to be a doctor, I could have went for a doctor?
No, hey.
When you grow up, we all want to be, those before we can
I have a background of law from school. I did my diploma in law from GUC. I've worked in the court of law. But then when COVID came, it was a chance for me to explore my other talents, because I'm a qualified beauty therapist. I do your facials, your massages, your pedicures and manicures. Here, I'm gonna take over. So I had to explore my talent. When I saw COVID was coming here, I was like, this is the time for me business, because I've been doing the business low key. So I had to take it upon myself, because of COVID, let me take over the business. So after COVID, that's when it's gonna be Alpha the masseuse, Alpha the MC, Alpha the TV presenter, Alpha the voiceover artist. And I'm still taking bookings right now.
How is it going with the business?
With the business is a roller coaster, because it's a beauty therapy business. You never know what happens behind the scenes. Some people, when they're coming for massage, they're expecting more than that. But we have our own limitations on how we conduct our business because we are professionally.
Yeah.
We are not like each and every single one out there who are doing massage.
So you're a qualified law professional.
Yeah.
You say that you're a qualified law
Paralegal,
professional.
yeah.
Paralegal.
Yeah.
Yes. So this means you went through like everybody else to college, because
Yeah.
people would think, well, he's an MC, he doesn't have any kind of qualifications.
Yeah.
Please enlighten us into your history of educational, level and
Okay.
back into it as well.
Okay,
How-
okay.
Yes.
Should I start it from primary school? Or
Just like from primary.
Oh,
Maybe
primary
from primary school there was
Primary
there was still that Timothy who's a presenter by then. Eh?
Hey, I went to primary school. I went to Phase 4 primary school back with Francistown, and then I went to Goldmine. Goldmine, I was the Minister of Entertainment and Culture. That's when I was there. Even like Goldmine, we took the funny part for me to be known in Goldmine. I shot Mukarahana when I was doing my standard 7, came into my results. So
Oh,
I was a
yes.
backup dancer. I was dancing for this other guy who was famous mo strateng go ghetto. And then the show I think is going to be aired the weekend. I can like a Tuesday most of the time. Remember government. I've never been to a private school. So remember government tebe lo gore ra bula ka Tuesday, Saturday ka ke le mo Karagana da. Ah yeah, wena. Monday was the most famous person in the school, so I took it from there, and then I went to FSS. At FSS, I was still emceeing events. I remember my first booking ever was from the Francistown City Council. I was 15 years. I was emceeing June 16 commemoration at the National Stadium. There are different schools, go na le makhanselara, go na le bomolaodi, go na le everyone, and I was only doing Form 3 then. And then I said, but this can be a career. The only law job, ne ke dira law hela ka gore mdala ko lapeng naro. Dira law mena ne
You
sa
needed
batle
to
law.
get it.
Because I had an acceptance in Nimkonkui for TV and radio. So I had just to do law for Batsadi, but right now I'm not even using it.
So it goes way back, way back from primary
Yeah.
to junior,
Yeah.
doing MCs, in small
Yeah.
events. It really doesn't stop at a level of it really didn't start,
Yeah.
so to say, stop. It didn't
Yeah.
really start as a backstage dancer, which really at the beginning
Yeah.
it seems like it is the one that introduced you, or it really didn't start at the point where you did the first audition and somebody
Yeah.
said no.
Yeah.
You have, as you're growing up, been doing this. May I ask, has this always been, your dream?
It has always been, I don't think I'd say it has always been a dream. I think I was born for this. When you're born, you're born. When you're born, you're born. You understand? I used to speak. I was born 8 years. Ke mahapela ka assembly. Standard 2, standard 1. Ke mahapela ka assembly. Go na le standard 7. Oh, ke bua ka mic. I remember when I was doing standard 3, go Phase 4. I used to be the brand ambassador for Directorate on Corruption and Economic Crime,
Wow.
DCEC.
Yeah.
They had students ambassadors in each school, and I remember I went for the public speaking competition. I became that brand ambassador of DCEC for the whole of Francistown. So I was paid 300 pula per month by DCEC just to
It's
do
quite a lot.
campaigns, talk halele, stuff like that.
You come a long way. You come a long way.
I come a
You
long
come a
way.
long way.
Guys, I feel like I could be rich if there was support and resources. If go sena body go backstab na my industry, go sena jealousy, I could be far.
Talking about backstabbing the industry, besides cyberbullying, in terms of the work environment that you are in, what challenges other challenges that you encountered that now didn't come externally but came internally?
I feel like in Botswana we have this mentality, you being a presenter, like not all the producers in Botswana. That's what I'm saying. Not all the producers in Botswana, but there's this mentality of Botswana. Most of the producers feel like they made you a favor by being part of the cast, but they need you more than how they need anyone else. You being in front of the camera, the person behind the camera will feel like favor. Even now there's a point where in a certain show they even wanted to take away my job, what they can replace you. till there was one person who said, but le replacing 1, 2, 3, 4 and stuff like that. Industry, it's so brutal in life because look industry you meet, we are going to become friends in the industry. But the moment I look away, you're still the same person who's gonna say nasty things about me. There's no trust. That's the reason why up to now I can't say I have like a best friend in the industry. There's only a few people that I do collaborate with. We go out for drinks, we chat, but not all of them in the industry wants what's good for you. And it's a battle between makeup artists, sound, executive,
It's a battle. It's kind of a complicated
it's a
situation.
complicated
How
situation.
did you make sure that you stand back in order for it not to
I'm always nice to everyone.
to pollute your environment and your career?
Absolutely. I am always nice to everyone. Hela Gaboni, I get in the show, I greet to
Yes, you
when
do
I
that.
don't understand the script, I go to you as the director. Into the script, ki say, when I make up, I look at our hands as something I'm that's what I do. I become so kind to each and every single person
Being
in the and it's upon us the presenters to make sure that the whole production is in the right direction. When I come camera, I make sure some guy or sharp we get I pass out jokes and stuff like that so that we can even have that peaceful
Engage,
relation.
having that friendly environment as well.
Yeah.
So other than Timothy, the presenter, the master of ceremony, the voiceover, I could say so many.
Yeah.
Who is Timothy? If you put aside all of those titles, who really is Timothy?
Alpha Timothy Nchenje is a very emotional person, very humble, quiet. I like soft music. I'm into easy things. I look good when I go out to stages and stuff like that, but find me at my house, I'm in my PJs, I'm in my gowns, I'm in my phone. I'm more humble beyond the industry. When the industry say I am alpha at home, I'm a very good person, but give me the mic, give me the cameras, I give you what you want because that's what you want.
You said when you are at home, you're a normal Motswana. When you are at home, you do normal things.
Not entirely because I have like an abuser. I have what I do and what I don't do.
Okay, that's
Linda, my mom, but with my mom it's complicated because my mom like one, two, either way. That one doesn't really care.
I was about to ask about your mom and say, when you talk about home, I suppose you talk about a mother, you talk about a father, you talk about siblings. Please give me a picture of your family.
To be honest with you guys, my family don't.
Yes.
Guys, my family don't care about me. They don't care about Alpha Timothy. Get the key pinch and get I'm Alpha Timothy.
Yes.
My family don't care. It's only when I do certain jobs can I got Alpha or host like but I remember the other time, even my sister, I'm basically in a gig, I was in my makeup, I was looking good and everything. And I started,
To them, you are just
to them, I'm just alpha.
a normal kid at home.
You don't
hold any status. Or
I
anything
don't hold any status. Even with my father, it's worse.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't care.
How is the relationship with everybody else?
I'm treated like I'm the last born, though I have two little brothers. My mom still treat me and my dad are overprotective over me. But Baba and 7 what go Francistown. I'm limited.
Well, we talked about home, we talked about the family, but I wish to know which home village you come from.
Okay, from my own daughter. I grew up in a family where my mother's side played a huge role in my upcoming. You understand? My dad, yes, it's my dad. He has a relationship with his family, but I never got the chance to become so close with my dad's family. But then I was never Papa utswa Mapoka, ne? And then my mom utswa Radisele. But how I define myself, I would say I am from Radisele because that's the village where I grew up. Hadikolo Ditsoetso, I was there. Even my grandmother unthusitse a nkgodisa, and my grandmother still loves me so much. Ebile, that's where I got the love. Even if when I was TV, I was getting more love from people in Radisele than the people in Mapoka. So unfortunately, Daddy, Kotswa Mapoka, but then I wouldn't say Kotswa Mapoka because I don't even know even the house they Kotswa Nkohono ko Mapoka. So I'd say I'm from Radisele.
You're from Radisson.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I come to realize that you have come a long way. And I must say, really, I really, as an individual, aspire to your story.
Yeah.
And to many people, they would as well, and they are aspiring to your story.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Thank you
your
very
presence
much.
right here.
Yeah.
And to us, it really means a lot.
Yeah.
And to many people who are going to watch this,
Yeah.
I believe they will learn, and they would not only learn,
All right.
your story,
Yeah.
they will learn how to be themselves and to
Yeah.
accept the challenges of cyberbullying and everything else, and how to
Absolutely.
be humble. And they will also know a lot
Yeah.
about it.
And let me say, I want to give a big shout out to each and every single one who have supported my journey. I like to thank every single designer, every single makeup artist that have ever touched my skin, every single director that worked with me, that taught me, and every single fashion designer that helped me, every single one to become Alpha Timothy Nchenje. Thank you so much. And a big shout out again goes to Jade and the Baba for making sure that I look absolutely good at the Male Grooming Emporium in CBD. Thank you very much for making sure that I look like the diamond that I am. Am I even a diamond or can I get gold? But konemo,
You're both,
whatever.
a
I am.
combination of the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much to each and every single one who supported me.
We really appreciate your presence. Well, that's the beauty of every conversation that we have right here in Becoming Talk Show. It is not just a journey, it is a journey where one discloses their self-discovery. They come about to talk about that transition, which is brought about either by the challenges they encountered, the beautiful things they encountered, and at the end of the day, they turn out to blossom. In this episode, it is Becoming Timothy Alpha. Thank you so much. And I'm your host, Brandon Nani. Until next time, let's see you then.